IndyCar competition returns to South Florida.
It's neutral to loose.
Robbie Buell and Dreyer Reinbold Racing take the Team Purex livery to Homestead-Miami Speedway.
I think it's a pretty good race car.
Open wheel warfare at its best. Next on Indy Racing Pit Pass.
All clear, all clear.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh, you just put it in position 5.
Breezy conditions greet Team Purex Friday morning. Buell and crew take time to get on the same page before the first practice.
Do we got speed or time on the dash?
Which do you want? I think it should be time.
Want to convert that to speed here? What do we do here? Do we go by speed or clock?
It was speed before, but we wanted me to change it to time, so that's where it has been.
Can we change this back real quick? We usually talk to speed here. On top of that building over there, is that where you're at?
I'm up just over top of the main grandstand, up on top of the tower, probably about 6 pit spaces behind you. I can see the pit real clearly, and I can see pit entrance real quick. Just so you're aware of it too, Robbie, there's a pretty good wind blowing out of 3 and 4. You're going to get a pretty good push down the front straight.
Speeds are razor close on this flat 1.5-mile oval in Homestead, Florida. Buell's last race in the Sunshine State culminated with a victory at Walt Disney World Speedway in 2000. He comes to HMS to get back in the win column.
We know what we got. We just got to keep working, and it will come. You know, but it's tough to do that. We just know we have to do it. I mean, you know, and the hours are crazy. I mean, the time these guys are putting in right now to get both cars ready with the new motor. I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we just have to keep working at that level, and it will come to you. To say it's easy, that'd be wrong. But if it was easy, everybody would do it too. You know, that's part of the challenge of it.
A series of small problems plagued Team Purex from the outset. Many of the gremlins are growing pains from the brand new Infinity Indy 35A motor Buell and Company are helping develop.
I think this looks like the limiter's coming in again at like 62, 63, kind of that same scenario that we talked about in Phoenix.
This is a new motor, the 35A, and we've only run it a handful of times. We ran it first on Saturday of Phoenix, the race in Phoenix, and then Friday at Homestead. That's all we have with this motor, so it's a steep learning curve.
From when you came in?
A squall moves in quickly from the Atlantic, and the session is soon awash. Already behind in practice time, Team Purex hopes to catch up when the rains cease. The sun returns to the raceway, and so too does Robbie Buell.
It's a pin in the front come off, but rolling down into 3 and in the middle of 4, it's neutral to loose. I'd say it's probably heavier down here because I'm giving input. We're down there, I'm just not giving any input. You know, just really, it goes down in and then it gets to that middle section there, and there's that little bit of bump, and it's just way new. And I got no feel where the front's meeting the car. None.
Even after some aerodynamic changes, Team Purex is mired in the middle of the speed pack.
Best speed so far is Scott Sharp at 197, Salazar 194. We're in about 9th or 10th, I can't tell which, at 191.
Buell is battling a neutral race car.
You're not hitting anywhere? No.
I'd lower the front.
Come down flat?
Get the front as low as you can.
Okay.
That's what it seems like. It's just there's no reason why it shouldn't feel any different apart from the wind effect of the car. It's just particularly in the middle of the corner where the wind effect is just like holding the car up off the ground.
Yeah. Well, he wants to lower his front a flat.
A front?
Yeah. Which I thought that either the whole car or the rear, but I mean, you're too neutral up here is what you're saying. You have no feel at all in the front of the car.
It's neutral. It's not loose. I just need to know that when I go to drive in there, it's really positive rolling down in there, and it says the rear hasn't taken a set, you know? I don't know if that's because it's blowing around or what have you, but from the middle off, once they get down to the middle, it drives off nice. I mean, I think it's a pretty good race car, really, with what I'm doing down here with the wind hitting you. But I just need that confidence there, or the sensation from here to me to drive it down into the corner without lifting and then waiting. It's definitely one thing. I mean, since we can just keep pushing the buttons and we get that, where that change is rolling in there, we'll gain 2 or 3 miles an hour like that. You know, that's what it is. It's not something we're trying to fight all the way. Just rolling in there so I can drive it in there harder and not have to give up as much and wait on it.
Yeah, I think we're probably as low as we can go in the rear and the front, actually. Okay, yeah, I was just wondering if we could soften the rear off, soften the rear bar off maybe, so that the rear, you feel the rear moving a little more.
We could try it. I mean, I don't know if it's a sense of, you know, having to hold it up to feel it more. I don't know what's taking place there that I'm looking for.
The G-Force chassis is also bottoming out in the corners. Wheel camber and tire pressures are the next adjustments.
Is there anything we could do camber-wise in the car, or not? Is there anything else that gives you more of that sense rolling down in there?
It's probably just you need to feel the car move a little bit more. We have stiffened up the rear of the spring.
41.5 on the right rear. So, I mean, a little bit high, but I mean, they're not below where that would be affecting it. I think those are okay.
If you took, say, a pound or two out of the right rear, just to see if that softening that right gave you any more feel into the corner.
When we roll in, they have how that sets.
And you should have clear track. You ought to be able to go.
For a race car, it's good. We've definitely made it better down here, even with this wind. And you would think with coming off that turn, it would pin the front really bad. It's good drivability all the way through. You know, you roll in, go like this, and keep the power.
Well, I thought it would be a lot worse in 1 and 2 because of the wind, but if it's good down there, then...
But I'm really waiting on it down here. You know, when we did that change there at the end, I mean, it started to make it worse down here.
Yeah.
And where it helped there is more middle off that corner, not so much as for me to challenge it to get down into the middle. You know, that's what we got to do. I got to drive that thing down in there, and I'm not.
Even though the 24 machine is not at the top of the chart, crew and driver are still confident they have a solid race car.
I'm really happy with the car down in 1 and 2, especially with these windy conditions, the way it hits you down there. But I'm not liking what it's doing in 3 and 4. So you got that trade-off, but it's something that it's not happening everywhere. It's just one little area. We'll go back and look at some computer stuff just to see what kind of downforce numbers we're generating and balance and load in the car, and just kind of see where that weighs out.
We're pretty comfortable with the car, long runs. Now this morning we've got the car in qualifying trim, so let's see what it'll do.
Team Purex still has one more practice before qualifying begins on Saturday. Plenty of time to get the car comfortable so Buell can put it on the edge. Saturday morning dawns bright. The challenge to find speed confronts Team Purex right out of the box.
I mean, the scenario is we are running more weight on that left front, so I think that will be good. I think that'll be better for that down there, but still where I'm waiting on it is that area into 3.
Yeah, it's going to make it better. What's it going to do down here?
I don't think it will make us any worse down there. I don't think that's what it is, but I still want to get back to focusing just in terms of the race scenario where I can challenge that turn 3 more. You know, I know the weight's going to help a little bit down in here, which will improve that a little bit, but I'm really not as concerned about improving that a little bit, since the biggest thing is down going into there.
You stiffen the right rear up. Do you think that's going to affect the tilt again?
The left rear.
Left rear. Yeah.
Well, we've taken some of the tilt out because we still have.
Okay. Did you take some aero off the front?
Yeah, to compensate for the rear ride.
Rear ride. I mean, you know, that may be something too. I mean, if we're still fighting that down there, let's not supposed to take some more aero off.
The Infiniti engine they had planned to qualify goes soft. and the crew has to thrash just to get a new motor in for time trials.
Well, we went out and ran about 8 laps, and then just to get the engine warmed up and the tires warmed up and changed out tires. But right now what we have to do, we're going to change out motors just to make sure. We had a little bit of a pressure problem. So instead of taking a chance, we'd rather put a new motor in and go qualify. We'd like to have a little more track time, but that's not going to happen, so you got to make do with what you have. But the good part of it is we had a good baseline set up yesterday, so we know what we need to do and where we're at with the car pretty much. So we'll take a little wing out and go qualify. We should be fine.
Firmly behind the 8 ball, Team Purex takes the track for qualifying with an untested power plant.
He brings it off of turn number 4, will come very close to the wall as he gets ready to take the checkered flag, and he'll do just that. Second lap a little bit slower than the first, 192.465. Robbie Buell is much quicker than he was this morning.
The result is disappointing. Buell will start 23rd on Sunday. A faulty throttle linkage kept him on the rev limiter and out of the top half of the grid.
What were you guys saying about the throttle?
It's got a toe strap on it. If it, you needed to yank it back.
Where's the toe strap up top?
It's on the top of the pedal. It's pretty far from your foot, but you can actually drag your foot back and bring it back.
With regards to qualifying setup, we didn't do any runs. You know, the tires that we ran on for 5 laps this morning were our tires that we ran all day yesterday. So, you know, it gives you no sense of what you got with sticker tires. So, no, it's not the conditions you want, the scenario you want, but now we just got to focus on what the half hour we have left on full tanks and have a good race car.
The final practice begins without Team Purex. Another problem keeps them in the garage for much of the last 30 minutes. Once on the track, Buell is not happy with the car's performance. Windy conditions prevail, and the team's choice of gears leaves a bit to be desired.
Car is not touching. Car's not touching, but it's pushing, getting down into 1 and off of 4. So we need to get rid of some of that push, maybe see where our tires came up to, maybe lower the rear of the car. When I've been running this 184, Jim, that's been in 6th gear. I mean, if it feels okay, just go ahead and run it to the checkers.
Session over, Robbie.
I don't know if we got anything different going on, but really having to wait on it down here. You know, after the first dash, it's shit, the car's good down here, too, now. Oh, you're really having to wait on it. Up off of 4, she goes up the track pretty quick. If you don't, like, if you want a little bit higher there, and want to run higher there, she goes up the track.
Take more weight checker out.
I took a lot of checker out. I mean, I don't know what we're down to. It says 19 maybe, but I wasn't touching. Not that I felt so. That may tell us what we can do in terms of lowering the there.
Looks like the front brush a little bit. That's why I asked.
Saying maybe they put the wrong one in.
No, because 4th gear is about the same as what we're in qualifying. We'll check. I'll double check with you.
Yeah, let's double check. But I mean, that was 6th gear. And definitely I'm a slug coming off of 1 and 2 with what I'm having to give up.
Yeah. No, the biggest thing is the full fuel load and the push, which is where we thought we'd go. We just didn't compensate enough for it.
Yeah, we need to compensate more for that.
Yeah.
And like you say, go back and look at the gears.
Yeah. So I don't want to change them too much. I mean, we'll go up 1 gear.
Still, I mean, I still don't challenge the car into turn 3 like I want.
Okay. We have limiter all, were you?
No, we are running 6th gear.
Should have been.
I mean, we should run. That should be 4th or 5th gear. No, we need to go taller. But I mean, we're only running laps at what, 183, 184?
586 in that range.
We're actually pretty close. We need to change, probably go up on 6th gear, and we'll probably add a little more wing to it. Tire pressures, staggers look really well.
Just more concerned about making sure we got something we can go to the front with and not just be holding on and surviving. You know, we want to race and go forward, not hold on and have things come to us so much.
We actually had a throttle sticking during qualifying. So we changed out a throttle body and had a few problems after that. We kind of missed part of that session, but we're okay.
The last drill of the day, pit stop practice.
All right, ready, go. All better than that. Ready, go. Good one there, 6.38. That's a good one.
Team Purex has its work cut out for it on race day. Robbie Buell has more in his mind Sunday morning than just the race. The first bit of business, the mandatory driver's meeting.
As race drivers, don't forget what your role is and your job is. Your job is to drive that car as fast as the conditions will allow. Make sure you make a wise choice because of all those factors out there. Again, keep the big picture in mind.
Because this event is sponsored by Infiniti, Robbie and fellow Infiniti driver Eddie Cheever get to meet and greet dozens of the Japanese car makers, dealers, and clients.
I mean, we're really excited about where the motor's evolved to at this point, and exciting for us here at Infiniti to go out and show them who's on top.
Then, something even closer to Robbie's heart, the Racing for Kids hospitality tent. Buell travels to children's hospitals across America to bring cheer to ill children and educate people about Indy racing.
You're going to be probably going about 10 miles an hour faster into turn 1 than you are into turn 3. You'll have a headwind coming back this way. Through the race, every pit stop, you'll tune the car and make the car a little bit better.
Finally, it is time to race.
Green flag flies, and the Infiniti Grand Prix of Miami, presented by 123.com Americatel, is underway. Jeff Ward will lead Greg Ray into turn number 1. Felipe Giaffoni makes the move, and he will go to third place as they come off of turn number 2. Heading your way, Jerry Baker, it's Jeff Ward.
And that looks like the way they warmed up, Mike. Jeff Ward was about 100 yards out in front of Greg Ray. When they warmed up, they fell back in line. But right now, it is Hornish on the inside, starting to make a move. As they come back toward you, the big leader is Jeff Ward.
Sam Hornish Jr. started 5th. He is going for third place now as he pulls up on the rear wing of Felipe Giaffoni. He will go to the inside of Giaffoni as they head into turn number 1. Jeff Ward beginning to check out just a bit, and we have a yellow flag. Stan Waddles has spun off the turn 4 exit and has made contact with the inside retaining wall.
Buell is unscathed in the lap 2 incident. He settles in for the restart.
Dashboard's still working. Throttle's coming back. Everything feels okay.
Good, you had a pretty good start there.
The misfortune of the past 2 days revisits Team Purex. What appears to be an electrical problem brings the car to a stop. Buell needs help getting back to the pits.
Hey, something's broken. Something's broken.
10-4, something's broken. Get somebody on the golf cart. Go down and pick him up.
What exactly did it do, Robbie? Good restart. Shifted to second gear. Went to second gear. Just everything died.
We'll pull the bodywork, take some screwdrivers, and check and see if the battery's disconnected. I'm in the garage. Anything else you need on the backup car?
That's in the pit, Jim. Working on the car right here. They changed down a box.
10-4.
We got fuel pressure. When we turn it over, there's fuel pressure. That ain't it. I shifted to second gear, and you went to the gas. It's just, you know, it just went dead. Nothing took it. It was like, I don't know, rev limiter related or something. I don't know.
Looks like it was a crank trigger. They just changed the crank trigger, and it looks like that's what it was.
Jim, we got it running, Jim. Got it running.
19 laps later, Buell returns to the fray.
Like a yellow flag on the racetrack.
Buell stops on the warm-up lane in turn 2. This time, the problem is terminal.
Get a replay of this thing out here.
Just cycle the master switch once and see if it'll catch.
No, nothing.
Boy, they sent a tow car after you.
I'm at pit out, and they're yellow, so we'll get in.
10-4.
We got to get that fixed, because if that shuts off like it does in the middle of a corner, we're going to get rooted. Any guys down here, do they got any options? Jim, tell the Infiniti guys, we changed the trigger, and it wiped the second one out. Something maybe hit this, possibly? Robbie, stay in there at least so we can get you behind the wall. Hang on a minute. If we can fix it here, we're a lot better off. Me to stay in here? makes sense because, like I say, it happened on the upshift to second gear, and then all of a sudden shut down.
You've got one car that just went out, Robbie. You're going to end up being about 55 laps behind him. At this point, that's the only position you can pick up if they hit 100.
After turning less than 10 laps, Team Purex decides to call it quits. A miserable weekend comes to a frustrating end. It's
disbelief. And then, you know, once you get back in the garage and you're seeing everything that's going on, then you become pissed off. You know, and you get angry about it in terms of the time and the effort and the commitment that goes into preparing for, you know, one race, for that Miami race, and boom, it's done, it's gone. It's sticking the knife in you, but then it's just kind of twisting too. Especially when it's just those type of problems, those new problems with things. And they won't be eventually, but you just gotta keep putting miles on to evolve.
For a proud group like Team Purex, the events at Homestead-Miami Speedway are difficult to swallow. When you're used to winning, 3 days of failure don't sit well.
Beginning of the race in Miami, take the green flag. I think we got a couple spots there. I mean, we qualified horribly. We qualified back in 23rd just due to the problems leading up to that. So that was frustrating, but still if you have a good race car, you're still gonna go to the front. We don't change what we do, we just gotta keep doing that because we got some great guys here. I mean, we have good support from Purex and Infinity and Aventus, and we got talented guys. We all know what we have to do. We just gotta get it to come together, and it will. We just gotta keep working. We just had stuff that kept hitting us down, and it doesn't reflect the quality of the team, which is frustrating, and embarrassing.
But as usual, there will be another race, another day to compete. That is why these high-speed warriors come back time after time to capture that elusive goal, victory.
As a driver, it's frustrating regardless. You can't add any more to it. You really can't.
Probably heavier down here because I'm giving input.